So this is for when maybe all summer long you've been eating tomatoes on toast or tomatoes on your burger or obviously BLTs. And maybe you just know that summer's going to come to an end. And it's kind of like prom or like that last dance at camp where you want to do something special because you might not see each other for a while or school is going to get out. And so you take this tomato out for a fancy dinner and you say, honey, get dressed up tonight. That's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to dress up these tomatoes. The most perfect way to have tomatoes, in my opinion, is on toasted white bread, a lot of mayo, sliced tomato, and salt. And essentially what I'm going to make right now is a falafel-spiced tomato with a seasoned yogurt on a toasted flatbread. And it's basically just tomatoes on toast, like super souped up. So the most important thing, though, is you save this recipe for end of season. And one of the ways that you will know if it's a good tomato is by looking at it, smelling it. So when you look at it, you want to see a fresh green stem. You want to see a tomato that doesn't have split skins, that doesn't have a ton of bruises, although a beautiful heirloom tomato that is super juicy is going to feel almost like a full water balloon, just like right on the edge of bursting through, and that's something you want. You want your tomato to be heavy for its size. I could make a lot of comments about that's also a great thing to look for in a mate. We like plump tomatoes. Pick up the tomato, smell the tomato, don't squeeze the tomato. The farmers really don't like it when you squeeze their tomatoes. Also, if you're gonna squeeze any tomato, you ask first, obviously. So I'm gonna slice this guy in half, just so I can get at the core, which is kind of tucked in there. And if it's a little bit irregular, it's fine. This is, came from the earths. More tomato intel. Don't put tomatoes in the refrigerator. A lot of people don't know how to store tomatoes and they want to put them in the fridge to keep them longer. That will make them mealy. I also think some of the prettiness of this recipe comes from using a couple varieties of tomatoes. So that's why I'm cutting into a couple. We will eat all of it. Please don't at me later, okay? This is the falafel spice. There's garlic, cumin and coriander. This is sumac, which we just had a quick convo. Sumac and falafel, typical, not so typical. Not typical. The sumac, I think, is the chef touch. So this is Josh McFadden's recipe. He's a chef in Portland. If you've ever been to Portland and gone to Ava Jean's, that's his restaurant. He also wrote a cookbook that people love called 6 Seasons. He's kind of known as a vegetable whisperer, but like, just tomatoes are a fruit. Anywho, sumac is a Middle Eastern spice, which is tart and a little bit sour, kind of lemony. If you can't find sumac, grate a little bit of lemon zest over these. There's a few chefy touches. Having your own kind of bespoke spice blend instead of just putting salt and pepper on the tomato is the dress up part of this tomato flatbread recipe, but it does give them a ton of flavor. And the other key part is seasoning them ahead of time, and I'm going to let them sit. Now we're going to make the chickpea portion. So vinegar, sliced shallot. This gets salt, pepper, and olive oil. A certain amount of olive oil. Tablespoon? Come on, Tommy. I added it to 3 tablespoons. I thought it was 1. I just need a fork for smashing, or a potato masher. Smasher. All right, so I'm smashing, and I'm sort of half mashing them because I want a mix of textures, because I'm pretty sure that's what Josh McFadden wanted. It's not spreadable per se, but that you could put this down on a flatbread and it's not just like the beans are just gonna roll straight off. The parsley's gonna go in. I just don't want it to like fully sog out. I mean, he says to add it though. I'll hold some back. Chef trick, add some of the herbs, and then a little bit later, you add the fresh herbs, and then you get best of both worlds. All right, this is our yogurt. It's yogurt with cucumber, pre-chopped herbs that somebody chopped for me, mint and parsley. Obviously, if you only have parsley, just use parsley. If you only have mint, maybe use a little bit less, but you could just use the mint. The tender herbs. Put dill in there. I just learned to love dill. Really nice amount of parsley, also the mint. So every element of this recipe, and this is like classic chef stuff, is seasoned. Every single component of this dish has been treated as its own little sub-recipe. Little hot sauce. This happens to be Cholula, not shilling, not sponsored. We just love Cholula. It's more about the type of hot sauce that it is. This is a vinegar-based hot sauce. It's not super spicy. It's pretty light. Little garlicky, maybe. Crystal is another vinegar-based hot sauce. You could use sriracha. Not going to kick you out of bed. This flatbread recipe is just the go-to. It's super simple. It is all-purpose flour, salt, sugar, baking powder. I recently had to learn the difference between baking powder and baking soda. It's very complicated between the baking soda and the baking powder, and Claire wrote a 2,000-word article about the difference. But the way that I learned how to remember it now is that the baking powder has the power. They're both leaveners, but baking powder has the power, so it can create lift on its own, whereas baking soda with the S, it needs something sour to interact with. The irony is I'm adding something sour, but it was baking powder. And I'm adding plain yogurt. And the cool thing about yogurt as an ingredient, the acidity in the yogurt will prevent too much gluten from forming. That helps these be super tender. And then I'm just kneading this for a few minutes. It's a really forgiving dough. It doesn't have to knead for a long time, just really enough until the dough feels mostly smooth. And then flouring the surface as needed. So where I feel like I can really feel that the dough is wet and sticking to my hands, I'm going to throw a little more flour down and divide into 4. And these guys are going to rest for 15 minutes, and that's really just long enough for the gluten to relax. Cover these with plastique. And these go at room temperature. Bye. 15 minutes already? All right, so back onto a lightly floured surface, and you can just tell the rested dough, it just has chilled. I'm gonna stretch it a little bit. Just gonna roll them out. They could be round. They could be oval. Say you didn't make your own dough, even though I made it look incredibly easy. And you're using pocketless pita or lavash or some other pita product, you're still going to do this part. You have a preheated, preferably cast iron, but a stainless steel skillet's going to work too. Glossing it up with some oil, and this is going to go really quickly because they're so thin. Just laying the dough in there and let it kind of get browned on both sides. Bubbles should pop up from the power of baking powder, and it's going to take maybe a minute or 2 per side. And this is very hard for me, but I just have to stand here. I want to mess with everything. Don't mess with it. Has it been a minute yet? I mean, starting to get golden brown. I remain unsatisfied with my results. It's like the first pancake, you know? It's never as good as the second pancake. Okay, I'm satisfied, but I'm still gonna make the other one. Fling, looks nice. I'm doing another one, can't be stopped. Ta-da! And this one I'm very pleased with how it looks. But the shape of this, because it's got these round parts, and the round tomatoes are gonna fit in the rounds. Oh, Chris, it's gonna be great.
I don't know.
Classic Morocco. So now my order of operations is yogurt, chickpea, tomato. That makes sense. It does make sense. So this is enough for 4, so I'm going to just try to eyeball it. And I'm folding in some of the fresh parsley that I didn't fold in before. Also, McFadden's a big, whole herb fan. I like using parsley in this way that it keeps its texture. But if you make this and you think to yourself, I think I would have enjoyed eating it more if I chopped up the parsley and folded it all the way in, then that is your right and your privilege as the cook of your own kitchen to do it the way that you like next time. So now we have our marinated, super juicy, seasoned tomatoes. Like I said, this is the tomato toast that you can actually eat for dinner. Hold on, I need my own area. Juicy mess. Eat this in your bathing suit. And I'm just going to sign off before taking another bite because I won't be able to talk anymore. So yeah, take your tomatoes out for dinner. You know what I mean? Delicious.
If these brown tomatoes had a song dedicated to them, what would it be?
You light up my life. Bye. I'll be doing this till August.